Okay, I took this 8.5-inch piece of black cardstock and scored it in half. And it is 3 1/8 this way. And this is going to be our little tuck in there. I use this 3x4 cut apart. And I ink the edges. And you can do one of two things. You can tuck this all the way in, or you can hang it over the side. So you can tuck it in like that, or you can hang it right over the top here. Just to stick with the color scheme I got going on, I think I'm going to tuck it in. And one more page to cover, and I just used this white again with the little diamonds, and this one is cut at 4 7/8 by 4 5/8. And you don't really have to pay attention to my measurements. Basically, you're cutting them an eighth, or a 1/4 inch smaller all the way around, giving an 1/8 inch border, or an 1/8 inch smaller all the way around, giving a 1/16 inch border is what I'm doing here. So I do it both ways. But the next page here is going to be another flat page, and this one I'm going to go dark. I'm going to go with the blacks. So again, the base page measures 4 7/8 by 5 1/4, right? Yes. So when I do a mat for the entire base page, it's 5 1/4 by 4 3/4. So I get like a 1/16 extra because of the extra space I leave on the hinge, so I can still cut it at 4 7/8. Or 5 1/4, I'm sorry. I'm going to use the polka dots on this side. And then I'm going to put another hinged flap on it. This one I'm going to put this way because the other one's the other way. I am going to use Scor tape on it. When things are hinging and opening from the left or right, they have more torque on them, so I use Scor tape on them normally. Okay, and I'm just going to line that up about a 1/16 of an inch from the edge of the mat. And I'm going to use this 3x4 cut apart. I love the 3x4 cut aparts, and I think it's going to give us a good chance, a nice chance to use 3.5 by 2 pictures. So it would be like a 3x4 picture with a border would be perfect fit. And then on the inside here, I have the opposite side of that polka dot, which is the labels. And I think the labels is going to make a fun, background for a picture there. Sorry about that. Alright, and if you want to cover this gusset up, you sure can. The paper has some cute border strips. So let's go ahead and do one of those for this one. May as well use every bit you got. If I can cut this straight, it'll be a miracle. That's really that's not straight at all, and it's too short. That's me though. That's the way I roll. Let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. We're gonna use it. Ink that bad boy up and you'll never know. You don't want it to get interfere with that hinge though. Okay, there we go. Now the next page, same size page, again 4 7/8 by 5 1/4. And again I'm going to put it on with the Scor tape. And leave about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch down at the bottom. And just make sure that it's on straight. Okay, and again, I think I'm going to use this night paper, which I love this paper. It may be my favorite. It's subtle and tone on tone and dark. Okay, here. And this is a 5 1/4 by 4 3/4 to mat the entire page. And then what we're going to do is make a pocket, and I shouldn't have put that whole page on there. That's okay. First I'm going to put a flap here, and this flap measures 5 1/2 by 4 7/8, scored at a 1/2 inch, so it's going to leave a 1/2 inch here. I am going to use Scor tape to put that on. And I think I'm going to use my bone folder here to reinforce that bend so it doesn't want to flop back open. And I'm lining this up with the very edge of the paper. Now I'm going to put this pocket on, but since I covered that whole page with that paper, I have to find another paper for the bottom here. And I'm thinking about, I wonder if I could get away with that. I think I can. So this one's measuring 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to make this paper first. I'm going to cut off this cut apart so I don't ruin the whole thing. And so I cut that off so I didn't ruin it. And now I'm going to cut 2 1/8. And I don't remember, by 5 1/8. Okay, perfect. And then you just glue this pocket down on 3 sides. And you line it up with the inside here. All right. So far, so good. Okay, so let's finish this page up. And I pre-cut this. Oh, I was going to count before I started. And this paper measures, I should have measured it beforehand, 4 3/4 by 4 7/8. And then I'm going to use this for the back. And then we can put a border strip there if you wanted. That would be cute. Let me see if that little piece bothers you. I just cut it really crooked, so I am really far off. Let me see. bit more. And then that kind of fades right into this paper here. And we'll find something to tuck in that pocket too. So there's that one. On to the next one and get our page ready. Okay, again, this is the page measurement. It's going to be 5 1/4 by 4 7/8. And I'm going to use my Scor tape. Cut that a little too long. Okay, and then I'm going to do a pocket here, and then these are going to fold over like that. So I'm going to put these on first with some hinges, cut to 4 7/8. I think I'll use the Scor tape for those again. Forgot to reinforce that. Okay, now before you put this diagonal pocket on, you're going to want to cut your paper. Let's see here. I think think I'll use this diagonal stripe here. And this triangle is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 7/8, and then I just cut it in half going corner to corner. So for your mat, what you want to do is take a piece of paper, make sure I got it the right way. This one may be a little too big. Let me see. Okay. These are all cut a little short here. Okay, so I'm going to use the orange. And you take your mat and you put it over your square like that, and then you can hold it on with washi tape, or you can hold it on with repositional adhesive or a post-it note, whatever you have handy. I have some of this washi tape, I'll just use it. Okay, so know that you want this 1/8 inch border around there, but what we're going to do is we're going to line this up right in the corner. Or no, I'm sorry. So we're going to leave this 1/8 inch border, and that's what we want, and then you're going to add another 1/8 inch, because what that's going to do is it's going to give you the correct 1/8 inch on the diagonal there. So double your border size when you do this measurement. Here, flip it over, and then you can cut right along this line. Okay, and then I'm just going to peel this back off. Thank you for the washi tape assistance. And I'm going to cut right along that line. And that should give you the correct measurements. See? So all you gotta do is double your border, and if I want the checkers, if I want the checkered side, I gotta go this way. But I think I'm going to do the striped side because I have some purple spectrum too. And I think I'll use the polka dot side. So let's use the stripe on this one. And there we go. And I'm just going to cut this very tip off here and then here, just because I don't want it overlapping. And that gives me a little extra room. Okay, and then we're going to glue it down on 3 sides. And there we are. And what I forgot to do was put the back on. I'm just going to use the same piece of paper that I just did, and because of that 1/4 inch border, that I use. You only have to ink 2 sides. This piece is going to fit perfectly and there's no waste. You can glue this one on before you put the pocket on. It's probably a little easier that way. Since mine's not dry yet, no big deal. There we go. Cute pocket. And then I have this little card from the 3x4 cut aparts. We're going to stick right in there. And that's cute. And then, let's see what I got here. Let's do Let's go ahead and put our flaps on, I think. So I'm just going to run another piece of score tape of both flaps. And you can definitely use a magnet closure on this if you want. I'm not going to, I think it'll be okay. And let's see what we have. I think I'm going to make this one a little bigger. So this measures 3 3/4 by 4 7/8, and this one measures 3 by 4 7/8. And here. And you just butt that right up against that hinge. And it'll give you a nice little pop there. Okay, let's move on here. We are on the back of page 3. And let's see. It looks like we're gonna go about 5 1/4 by 4 7/8. And maybe get my stress ink out. Okay, so the paper that I cut for this, and I'm going orange on this, is 4 3/4 by 5 1/8. And then each one of these flaps, remember we did the inside of this one On the inside here, because we have this little cute pumpkin cut apart, I'm going to use the pumpkins here and here. And both the front and the back of each one of these, this one's going to be 3 3¾ by 4 3/4. And the front of that side will also be 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. I really like it that this collection has white in it. Like, it's not all dark. Okay, and then this side, the mat is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And again, we just leave about a 1/16 around. Okay. Now this side is bigger, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this the overlapping side. Again, these are the same size as the ones underneath, 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, and 3 1/2. I think this one is only three and a half. And it's because of the extra room here on the hinge. If I couldn't go another 1/4 inch, I would run into here. So this one's going to be about 3 1/2. You can go a little bit bigger than that, like maybe an 1/8 inch. Again, just so that there's like a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Okay, so this one is going to be on top. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And then we're going to make a flap to close this. And so I have one of the 4x4s, and then this is cut at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my magnets for my basic gray magnets, which are on the store, so no worries. And these are already self-adhesive, so that's awesome. One has a plus and one has a minus, so they will definitely work together. I'm just going to take the adhesive or the paper off the back of this one to expose the adhesive. There we go. And I'm going to put it like right in the middle of that page, so right about here should be good as far as getting that to stick down. Stick into my fingers. And then you stick this to this side, peel off the adhesive, place it where you want it to go. And this is really nice because I'm just lining it up with those lines. And there you are. Now we can cover this side. And then instead of ATG, I'm going to use glue on this just because I want it to stick. I mean, it's going to stick, but I don't want it to come up, so. Alright, and that's that page. We'll flip her over to this side. And I have a couple different things happening here. This is the page, the base page again, and it's just a piece of cardstock. It's measuring 5 1/4 by 4 7/8, and I'm just going to adhere that right to this hinge. Super simple build-a-page. And you leave again about 1/8 of an inch or so. Okay, so next we're going to do these two pages, and I'm going to start on the right, and I just have these triangles that were cut from a 3 by 3 square, and I just cut diagonally across. And these are going to be corner pockets. And then I have these strips here that were actually just scraps. 2 of them are 1 1/4 and 1 at 1 1/2. And they are 6 1/4 long. So the area, these are going to be pockets. So the area that I want to cover is 5 1/4. So we're going to score each one of these strips at a 1/2 inch. On each side. I have my right scoring tool. There it is. And this one, the bigger one, is going to go on the bottom, so that is not a 1/2 inch. There's a 1/2 inch. Okay. And we don't have to score the other one. So I'm going to do purple, like the lighter purple on this page, I think. So let's just do one of the like the patterns and solids here. And I want to go ahead and cover the whole page. So that's going to be 5 1/8 again by 4 3/4. I think I'll use the polka dot side this time. Okay, and again, ink it. Now you could do a couple different things. I'm going to make, like, you could cut the edges off here and use them, but I'm actually going to make it these different patterns. So I'm just going to put this straight down onto the cardstock here. Okay, and then in order to cut these at the correct dimensions, let's pull the paper that we're going to use. I haven't used this paper yet. I got a smaller piece here. So let's go ahead and do that. So how I'm going to measure this is I'm going to put my triangle corner, or the triangle on the corner, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to leave what I want about 1/4 inch on all on the two sides. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me a 1/16 of an inch all the way around once I cut this. So then I'm just going to take a pencil. Whoops. And there is my, you can cut this with a paper trimmer, or you can just cut it like that. And there you have it. I got some pencil on there. And then I'm just going to use this one to cut my other one. Double check the dimensions. Okay, they look good. So first I will glue these down. And it'll be like that. And here we go. That's just going to line up here with this one. And then we're just going to put the glue onto the two straight sides. And then let that dry before we stick anything in it. Okay, and then let's start on this side. So these paper strips, again, this one is 1 3/4. No, I'm sorry. This one is 1.5 and the other two are 1 3/4. And this one's going to be our base pocket. And then it's going to end up being a triple pocket, but it's going to go all the way through. So the first thing I need to do is cover some, but not all of this. And I wonder if I can, I think I can use, yep, I can use what's left of this paper up here. So always measure. It is going to be about 5 1/4. And I'm going to cut it at about 2. And that should do it. And it has a little chunk out of the bottom there. We are not worried about it. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of the smaller strips and I'm actually going to cut, there's probably about 1/4 inch, just at an angle. It's not horribly important how much you do, but what you want are these two smaller strips to kind of slide down into the bigger strip. So you'll see what I mean here in just a second. So I'm just cutting at an angle, nothing real specific. We just want it to slide, they need to slide down into each other. Okay, I probably should have matted that first, but that's okay. So I think we're going to put the bottom one on first. So the finished dimension of the pocket's going to be a little smaller than the finished dimension of the page. So this is 5 1/4, so we're going to do our mat at 5 by 1.5. And I want to go purple. Let's see what we got here. How about we use this again? So I'm going to cut this at 5 and I'll use it on all 3 pieces. So the first one's going to be at 1.5. And that means the second two should be at 1 1/4. Yes. So 2 pieces at 5 by 1 1/4 after the 1 1.5. Okay. So if you guys are still with me, I thank you very much. And I wanted to thank everybody for, and I'll probably thank you again, but everybody who's on the Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creation Facebook page, you guys are all extremely nice, and I thank you very much for welcoming me to the group. So you all are amazing, and the other design team members are amazing. Everybody gives lots of feedback, and I'm just really happy to be part of the group. So I know my first tutorial was a little confusing because I had the wrong dimensions, so I will do everything in my power to make that better. And next time I'll just redo it instead of putting up the putting it up. It's just sometimes what's in my head make sense. and it doesn't make sense really. So, okay, the only thing that I'm second guessing myself about is adding maybe some kind of a border up here so that you can see it's more evident that it's a pocket. So let's go find a punch of sorts. Okay, so I found this punch and that will do. And then I have some black scrap paper that I cut at 5 inches, and this was all one piece. I'm just gonna go ahead and make the other one out of this also. And there we go. And then I'm going to cut it in half. You want about 1/2 inch strip, I suppose. Just enough to give it some grab on the glue. Alright. Okay, I just wanted to make a mess. There we go. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. That's about 1/2 inch on both sides. And then this one's a little bit longer, but okay, so I have this pocket done, and I'm going to take the big one and just run a strip of ATG along the bottom, and I'm just going to tuck that right down into this pocket. Just so it's gonna give me problems, just so it's sticking up. Okay, that's good. That gives you the idea. Actually, I think I'm gonna make it flush. Let's make the stick out. Okay, just like a little bit. There we go. How about that? I'm gonna get rid of this little hangy thing over here. This one's gonna have to stay or else it'll look funny. And then I'm going to glue the hinges and just the bottom pocket here. Okay. I got a big gloop there. And that's just going to go flush with the outside of the page and the bottom of the page. You don't want to line it up with this side because that's too close. You'll have problems closing it. I got too much there. That's okay. Okay, while that's drying, let's go ahead and work on these two. I love the candy paper, but I like the damask paper too. Okay. Again, we can just line this up there and there. And then I'm going to go back and cut out this part where I cut before. And what that's going to do is it allows it to go into the pocket above. Now we could layer pocket on top of pocket on top of pocket, but that's a lot of bulk. That doesn't have to be there. Take my little fringes, ATG, and not on the edge that's not along the edge that is mitered. Okay, there we go. That looks neat. Okay, this should be dry enough now. I can show you how this is just going to slip right down in there. Okay, so on this one, you can do one of two things. You can glue this bottom pocket here so that you just have a shallow pocket. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that part open so that the pocket goes all the way down to the bottom. So all I'm going to do is glue on the sides. And that pocket is now it's the full length of the page. And this slides right in there. And you just line it up with the sides. 2 pockets. And here's the 3rd pocket. Okay. Line this up. Here. I have some extra. I didn't punch this very well, I guess. Another thing that would look neat on here is like maybe some silver or silver foil. Silver gel pen. And again, I want this pocket to go all the way down the bottom, so I just put glue on the sides and then slides right under pocket number 2. There we go. Triple pocket page. We're going to let that dry. And while we're letting that dry, we need stuff to stick in there. So I have some of these awesome cut-aparts. And I need to ink them up. And then I cut these to so that we can make booklets out of them instead of just mats. So, oops, these are cut at 7 by 4 1/8. I think 7's a little long. Yeah, that's going to be a little long. I think they should be cut at 6 1/2. So let's take these down to 6 1/2. 6 1/2 by 4 1/8. And then if we need to trim them a little bit more, we can. But putting that fold in it is going to make the measurements a little different. So I'm going to go ahead before I fold them. I'm going to adhere them on, and when you do this, if you haven't folded it yet and you want it to be on the upper side when you fold it, like when you read a book, you put it on this side. Many a time have I put it on the wrong side, and I like doing this first. I like adhering these down before you fold it so that you can get it as close to the fold as you want it. So I'm going to put this here, get my Scor tool out, and right on that 3 mark. Or no, that's right on the 3 1/8 mark. So that makes sense, huh? Okay. Now, fold over. Here's my bone folder. And you can see we're still 1/4 of an inch off. About 1/4 of an inch. So I'll just take my scissors and trim. Okay. This should be dry enough now. We can put this in. I'm putting this in the middle pocket. See how that tucks all the way down? If you would have made it, if you would have glued the bottom, I don't think you would have had enough room. Well, I know you wouldn't have had enough room to put that. You would have just had to put smaller things there, which is fine. And I'm going to put this down here. kind of spread them apart a little bit so you got two little booklets. Cute. Okay. Now, I will find something to put in here. Let's see what I got in my stash over here. I'm trying to stick with purple, so let's do this one. It has the most purple on it. Jack-o'-lanterns, ghosts, goblins, haunted houses, and wicked witches trick or treat in the moonlight. Happy Halloween. Okay. I love this paper. I just can't bring myself to not use the cut apart. Okay, here we go. And that's just gonna tuck right there. You can tuck it under both sides if you want, to make it look more finished. This would be like a good place for a cut apart or a sticker. Maybe break up the purple a little bit by adding a little pumpkin there. Let's go ahead and do it just because I already cut it out. Glue him on. There's your pumpkin. And what else do I got? I got this flower here, but the white one's cut off, so I can tuck him behind the pumpkin. Let's do that. Okay. And then I got this little orange guy here. I'll glue him down too. Just add a little interest. There. That's all from the paper. You just cut it out, and they were really easy to cut out. Alright, looks like we're going to do the back of this, and then this is the last page. So, I'm going to go ahead and glue the actual page on. And then we're going to have to count some spots, because remember, this is an October daily. I need to make sure I have 31 spots, and I'm pretty confident I do. I'm pretty confident I have more than that. So what we're going to do, because I'm not going to put stickers on it, because like I said, what if you want to label the sticker, what if you want to label on top of the picture, then you wouldn't be able to if I already put the stickers on. So we'll just use sticky notes. Okay, so this page, let's do dark orange, because I am dying to use this paper. And in my purple, I haven't got to use the bat paper either, which I'm kind of sad about, but that's okay. So we'll start off with the cat paper, and I'm not sure.